Who killed Fujisaki? The truth will come to light. The bizarre class trial begins again. Why was Chihiro murdered? Is the killer hiding within the group? Is there any help to be found in this series of murders? And now, it's our time to avenge Fujisaki. Let's do this. Class trial?
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
The dumbbell. First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. The locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Yep, bashed on the head.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
The dumbbell.
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Nope!
Interesting. That certainly would make them
Yes, I know the answer
weapon.
to some of these. I just want to hear the hints. But I know this one, because the weapon was a dumbbell. Dumbbell had to be the thing with the crime. There was something with a bloodstain on it.
Chihiro's
fatal. It appears that, according to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the controls here.
Interesting. That certainly would make them.
Poor Chihiro.
I missed it, because I'm trying to remember the controls.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong.
It was a dumbbell. Blood on one side of it.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack? The Phoenix serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? Anyone has been asking, that's what the video. Yes, I would. Lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so take them as obstacles in your debate. The way to keep the white noise from getting in your way. Pressing the A button to attack the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. If you shoot an actual marker with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease. Be careful. White noise won't appear. Yeah, I have it set to kind, so... I have it set to kind, so I don't think I have to worry about the white noise.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Maybe.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
Why is always so funny? The thingy Byakuya showed me in the archive, one look at that and anyone would be convinced. It shows that this was the work of Genocide Jack.
The culprit is
Genocide Jack.
So I think it's about the evidence.
Why?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong.
I guess the archive would be the proof for this?
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Oh my god.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know, if I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body. We already went over the messes left behind, but it's how they're positioned.
I got it!
They're crucified.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of.
You.
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Ah, Leon.
Yes,
There's a
in
picture
fact,
right there.
it's Toko.
What?
Why do you say that so calmly?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember?
Squeamish.
What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
She's squeamish.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so
I'm
complicated?
gonna look up this whole white noise thing on my own time, but I haven't sent it to Gentle and all because I don't want to deal with that. So, it's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko? The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Yeah, the dissociative identity disorder. I have no idea. I actually have no idea what I'm supposed to be looking for. Damn it! What? I don't know what word I'm supposed to be trying to make here. S-C-H-I... Toko Fukawa. Schizo? What?
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Hold on, Schizo?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too.
I mean, I'm gonna let the rest of
They
this
thought
play.
that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Is it just schizophrenia then? Are they just trying to shorten that? The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. Her change in behavior? Or it's either...
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
So I guess just schizophrenia.
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. Fine. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top inning and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Yep. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer. Drive out that murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
I don't think it's the fact that he lied. It's
You
just
have
comes
only
relevant
yourself
in the
to blame.
case.
You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides,
Sounds really relevant
you
in this
broke
case.
your promise first.
Eh?
You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
Chihiro was killed. And also, I'm sorry I couldn't keep our promise, but don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but...
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
Why is Byakuya such a
I
dick?
hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean...
Yep, Genocide Jack. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Yep.
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to
Genocide
see?
Jill.
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, what
So Toko has a split personality.
Ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What, Jack and Jill?
What the fuck is this? Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens
Multiple
to be a serial
personality
killer?
disorder.
You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
I don't think anyone says
This
that.
one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
Same
Just
line.
like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide. This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
She's definitely a special type of person. Special type of weird.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
But I think it's already too late for that.
Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion. Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all this. And here we go. Make our argument. The status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things. Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need?
No, it doesn't. Because if you remember, Chihiro was tied with wires. But Genocide Jack only kills with the scissors that she always carries on. I'm just focused on remembering Chihiro's body. That must have the answer. That what he said isn't quite right. Yeah, because Genocide Jack kills with scissors.
You say that, but perhaps if
She was hung with a wire.
When you compare your past murder, the modus operandi matches completely.
Nope. No. It wasn't hung with the scissors. She was hung with a wire.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How is it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
This is definitely different from Toko.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Oh, I love ragu and Chef Boyardee.
This is no creation of mine.
Ragu sauce I use on ton of pasta a lot.
In a way that maybe makes more sense.
More branding. It's more branding in Danganronpa.
There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
One clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a clear difference. Their injury. Again, the scissors.
For one, the cause of death is different.
Yep.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Again, with more pasta.
Please stop comparing killing people to cooking. So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Yes. Second difference is related to how she was suspended. Opposed to the other Genocide Jack case, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference. Yeah, the wire.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Big Makoto.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There was a pattern around the Genocide Jack with Chihiro didn't fit it. Look at the names of every victim. What you'll notice is, I think I figured out. I know why she could have killed Chihiro. Because Chihiro was a girl. Only killed guys.
Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all men. Ken Harada, 32. Setsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takahashi Yoshida, 30. Kamatsuna Taro, Taki Fumigono, Uchida Naoya, Takeshi Masumue, Yuto Yumijima, and there was no end to it. They were all male.
They were all guys?
Yes.
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Old and young. So fucking
I can't believe
teens.
I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with
Middle-aged
you?
men.
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the movie side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
Oh my god.
Too much passion and conviction to cross that line. It's the absolute reality of a one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy.
And how much you really like
But
pasta.
that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, Why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect! That does make some amount of sense.
Only some, not a whole lot.
Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe
The culprit, at
you
least.
used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, she carries some with her.
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can go anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot! So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Yes.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah! That's why we figured it had to be the real deal, and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Would it be Byakuya because he knew about it and already has it in his study?
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it?
Because he has the stuff in his study
You'd
too.
have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her. So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all? Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Once again, he's so calm
Then
about
I
this.
must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Suspicious. It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary,
But how do you know?
there's something very
How do you know the
strange.
victim beforehand?
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Brocky had just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. Unstop the bits. I'm gonna add something called Truth Flashback. You aim at the weak spot and hold Y. Then you'll memorize the weak spot. This is memorized phrase that can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. Use the flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't have the answer there to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullet, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you just have to use your keen which won't you? Okay, so if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. The truth. Monokuma bomb number 2.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it.
Okay.
That's a natural reaction for any guy.
No.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
to think out loud.
You wish you'd taken me with you.
Oh my god. Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. Because it doesn't make sense how we could have known before we even found it. Yeah, that's what I said.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we...
That's what I said, because he realized that Chihiro was done before...
The victim was Chihiro.
No, it's wrong.
It's not wrong, but... the fact that how did you even know that
I'll
beforehand?
tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
But it's the fact that he knew it beforehand. What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I want him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with it.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between this case and the other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proved Byakuya is responsible for it is hidden in there. What could it be? Yep.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended with... it was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Oh, hello. Proof that Byakuya is hidden within the rope. This is possible, but first, an item she had been bound with was used like a rope, but was it actually a rope? Nope, it wasn't. Byakuya didn't use a rope. He used a very specific object.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same scissors. But Chihiro was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be...
Hey, Byakuya.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, it's wrong.
It's the it's the plug that was used for the desk lamp.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
Huh? I don't disagree with...
He's not calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Sure. Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can we just accept what Byakuya said is the truth? I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. See?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
But Byakuya wouldn't have been able to get him there.
Are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
In the investigation is when the limits were unlocked.
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident of until now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. Same as switch between the boys and the girls' locker room. Yeah, the layout was changed. So where do we get it? The posters? Blue lights on the poster in the girls' locker room. Big
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
No way to know.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
The coffee stain.
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
And was found again in the boys' locker room. No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Where are the rugs?
I got it!
In the boys' locker room now.
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
The scene of the crime was
Why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
Are you sure about that?
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is she right? Could Chihiro really got into the boys' locker room somehow? Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Nope.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
Those things aren't able to do that.
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Oh wait, no.
If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Okay, they already denied the fact that it wasn't hacked. Theoretically, Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook so you can get in the boys' locker room. When we found Leon's handbook in the main hall, there was no doubt that it was. In which case, can we really say she used it? No, because it was broken.
Is it really possible
And they
that
already
Chihiro really
denied the fact that it was hacked.
She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have.
I feel like that was put to throw off the
Talking
trail.
about Leon's handbook.
No,
No, it's wrong.
it was broken. The handbook was broken. Only Junko and Saika's were there.
I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against
Oh yeah, something
using someone
against
else's
you. I'm down.
handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of
Robo
course,
noggin.
if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Again, are you sure about that?
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room. Byakuya is the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
what?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait.
That's what it is.
What do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Nice singing.
I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... the locker room. Fujisaki.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
You're
No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body. It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
I'm a Christian!
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
Not that
So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Oh my god.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm
That's
sorry,
touching.
Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began quickly examining her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
It was a penis I touched!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting.
It was a penis.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Ben, it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Geez, she really does still sound like Chie.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
It puts a whole new twist
now
on the
let's
trial.
ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
That puts a whole new twist on the trial. So Fujisaki was a guy in a
apologize for
dress.
keeping you waiting.
A
Now
dude in a
then,
dress.
let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
I think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my
And
mind.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there
So
should
excited.
be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
You sure about that?
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Indeed-o.
He's off in his own little world.
What
do you
about you,
expect?
Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
I want to grab some of my apple cider.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything
Some
to do
apple
with
cider
it?
and pumpkin pie. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy
Plus,
early
the
Thanksgiving.
evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least,
Ow.
that's how I see it.
I don't have a candle, but I have to use my fucking mouth.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder
Bottle
took
opener,
place in
not
the
can
boys'
opener.
locker room,
I have a candle.
it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but... it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Circumstantial.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Still doesn't make you any better, though.
Are you fucking with us right now?
Tantalizing a crime scene.
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Come on, let it out. You're already an asshole.
I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If
Again,
you're really
doesn't
telling
really
the
care.
truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
They all want to survive.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means... yes.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. And since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Celeste, stick out. Hold on.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Oh yeah, Celeste.
Well, the clues are one thing, but
I love that.
did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim?
Celeste?
The killer. And only the killer.
Nope.
And it's not like they're just gonna
Celeste
turn
saw the
themselves
killer.
in.
Why isn't she saying anything?
Man. Game over.
Yay! No! Not game over!
She's always panicking. No, as a matter of fact, there is an eyewitness account regarding Chihiro. She has more information about that.
Isn't there a single clue?
Did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the killer.
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah. All we
It's over. You want to know who saw the killer? And only the.
No, that's wrong!
No, because Celeste saw Chihiro going into the locker room. Or heading towards the locker room.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Makoto?
The rest of you had no idea.
Is she a Latinx though?
That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
Not even
It was
Japanese.
last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
Track jacket and a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, And then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine.
Wait, exercise.
Celeste,
Didn't
did you
Mondo
notice
actually
anything
say
special
something
about the bag or
about
jacket?
wanting to like help a man up if the time comes? Like he said, he told Chihiro not to cry and talked about how he'll help a man up if anything comes. I have suspicions, but I'll figure it out myself. I'm just inferencing to the back. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then just watch the investigation episode of Chapter 2. But fine, Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from.
Here, blue.
Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe.
First of all, we know
There's a
where
lot to
Chihiro
go on
was headed.
here.
He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
Why does it matter?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue...
What did I
tracksuit
tell
as
you?
him?
I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to hear the rest of it. But yes, what did I tell you?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Hold on, can I like anyway, I can go back. I want to hear all that. Damn it. Just watch someone else's thing if you want to figure out the rest of what they said.
Huh? What'd I say?
Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
First, when Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. Then I assume he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
So how do you know it was blue?
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
You know what? To do you guys a favor, I think maybe at the end of the video or somewhere in between, I'll go ahead and edit the rest of what Mondo was trying to, the rest of the line of where Mondo was found.
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
Blue?
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure you saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it.
They weren't
The
present.
bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry?
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
I have to remember to edit that part. She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. Just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him. The way he was acting?
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women.
Oh, I guess it is that.
You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Who's tiny? Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
What's it with him changing his voice so many times?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Okay, you're creepy too.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Just tell us.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook.
Found on the ground right there. Must belong to. It's mine! It's on the ground. Was it Chihiro's?
I got it!
I guess it was.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
Just like he was.
For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How, precisely, did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbooks break? There's only one possible explanation. It had a weak point, but is that really the answer to something that vague?
I got it!
Yes, it is.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
Like, he's gonna answer that.
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
They're great!
I flippin' knew it!
Flippin'!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
I didn't come here to learn biology. Or the human anatomy. I think it's anatomy and biology or something like that, yeah. I didn't come to learn that.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
Yep.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
2 people went into the sauna, and once again, Mondo was the only one wearing any clothes, so he was the only one with with pockets.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
Because Taka went in naked, so he didn't have any pockets, only a towel. But Mondo went in fully clothed, so he had pockets in which he would put the handbook.
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Yep, you can also tell from Taka's reaction. Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? That's the one who wore all their clothes into the sauna. Yep. What did I tell you guys? Where is my guy? Mondo Awada.
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on.
And a towel on his pompadour.
But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but the fact that proves beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now try to make sure to actually go through this one. The broken handbook, the hero's handbook, or the card reader. Oh, so we got multiple ones.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct.
I'm actually trying to remember how to...
You broke your own handbook.
Here it is.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Is it just broken handbook? I'm sure Mondo's handbook broke during the Sauna Showdown. If I could just prove that, then that would show the handbook Mondo must actually be.
Let's test Makoto's if what he said you broke your own. In other words, if then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Damn it!
See?
I didn't know that could miss.
Mondo
I didn't even know that could miss. Because that's why they consider it concentration.
Let's test if what he said you broke your own. In other words, if then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just...
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
So it wasn't Leon's, it was
What the heck
his.
are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's.
My apple cider's gone.
Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes? But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Loaning, not taking.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student.
Now that's just cruel. That's literally calling them inhuman.
It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Here we go. Oh, this was actually quick. I didn't realize it was so quick. Let's see. So let's start Chihiro in the warehouse with a duffel bag and... Yeah, the remote's acting up again. What we got here? Something everyone has that you need to get into the locker room. Which locker room did Chihiro get into? Here we go. Boys locker room. The weapon the killer used was instead of dumbbells. Here it is. After the murder took place, some blood splattered on this. Go back. Back. Hate this controller. Disguise the truth. The killer switched around the carpets as well as something else. Which locker room did the killer move to? Girls' locker room. The killer took something from the other locker room and switched at the scene of the crime. Wait, they swapped? Hold on. Oh, because he actually put this up. From here, he was peeling it. That's all I got. What? I think this is the wire, but what was it that Byakuya brought to the murder scene? The wires. When Byakuya arrived at the scene, what did he use to disguise what had happened? What is this? Oh, that's a handbook. Where did the killer go after they were done? And then this is the handbook. When the handbook got thrown into the sound room, what happened to it?
Here's exactly what happened. First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Easy, because they weren't.
Simple, because she was really a he. Which is why he was able to use his own handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from.
That done.
It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
And head for the girls' locker room.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body.
And bro, blood love.
Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
Right into the sauna.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
Mondo Owada.
Isn't that right, Mondo Owada?
Ultimate Biker.
Wait! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in this trial. Every time I show that where Mondo's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. More stuff. Fever time and Nega time. If you press the RB button. Yeah. Fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. Even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push each however you want to destroy the put into verbal assault. Only lasts till the focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of time. It won't be fair if only you got the access to special item, right? So we've also prepared something called Nega time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates Nega time during the bullet time battle, your tempo mark will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the button to rhythm. You're going to activate fever time at this point. No, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. I was about if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use Nega time. I'm sorry I'm a wuss. I never played this game. So no, they can't use Nega time, and I don't think I'm gonna make use of it either. Yeah, that's why I figured Owada doesn't want to hear anything.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! Show me some evidence.
Proof you can't just pin any of this on him.
Prove it.
That was actually a lot more fun. Great.
If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Did he really give in?
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
A. Another perfect A. And 68 more Kuma coins.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that!
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Mondo Owada. The guilty party this time.
What?
Uh-oh. This time looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was... Mondo Owada!
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way you would kill someone.
Sorry.
But why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taking a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the B button to fast forward the text. No, let's hear it. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could. Remember, he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody would be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and it was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak.
I hate when I hear Best Boy talking about all this. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, the world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course include Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dressed like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But...
I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later? After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought in the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And that person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. It sure was! The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep that secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. Is this supposed to be Monokuma actually talking? That's supposed to actually be Monokuma talking. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. Did what he did? Did what he did? You mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room to the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. Her purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. But how does moving the body keep a secret? Moving from the boys to the girls' locker room. If everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, they would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once I started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? What would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone?
You're wrong!
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, you obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? The embarrassing memory, the secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. The only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother name was Daya Owada. Okay. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, had grown as the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, #1 in the gang, and his #2, his younger brother, Mondo. At the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. Ew. But when Mondo decided to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created the gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Someone like that really be our leader? And all that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why...
I just...
Gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his Amazing Brothers retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly, Crazy Diamond. Crazy Diamond really was crazy. Laying in his kid's brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid, I fucked up, sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey kid, it's up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Cause it's a team, you and me put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit that to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brothers, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Strong. And yet, as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. Again. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Again. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secrets. Mondo killed his older brother. His own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why. That's why Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with some kind of fuzzy uneasiness, and it just started whirling around. I've never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus!
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you've kept the secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
There's the spirit. I wrapped myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy the version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was a kind of strength I've never had. I was so jealous, so I was jealous of him, and that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I feel like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
No, I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch.
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was lying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey!
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
He's freaked out now. Mondo! He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He had that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. Weakness like that lived in a cold heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! Look at him, you see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past for a month. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets in the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere there? Because I sure don't. You bastard. Just shut up, you son of a bitch. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want, is what I want to say, but unfortunately, I can't do that right now, because the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The black end that deserves a piece will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Iwata, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Thrills, chills, and kills. I said wait!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Oh boy. Mondo has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Why is Monokuma wearing the pompadour too? Because that's a sign of a biker gang leader. If you're wearing a pompadour. The Cage of Death. And he's just there hooping. Electricity. Everything's going berserk. And he's nowhere to be found. On the bike anymore. His body is just gone. Okay, now that's just fucked up. 2 times the fat Mondo Butter. Yankee Fred. That's just fucked up. He became butter. With twice the fat. Laugh at death, and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be! My brother! Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. No matter how many times you see this, it really does hurt. Taka's suffering. Finally became good friends with Mondo, and then just to have this happen. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course, he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game. Togami! Byakuya!
What is this?
You're completely insane. Do you know that? A game? One of your friends is dead? Do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because the game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response, except that...
However...
I just don't understand why. Why'd you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? It's just obvious, because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. Chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too. The room never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So, you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed, if that hadn't been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time for the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a helping hand. Lend a little helping. I thought it would liven things up. You did all that to liven things up?
I see.
So after thinking about Genocide Jack from Togo, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene. But damn, man, if we had to figure out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Dracula turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become Blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for.
Correct.
So that was your reason. A reason to kill Makoto? Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to this story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask about Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next. You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Do you like them? But you know, the punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I am not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean. Good grief, I understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh,
the noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
Shut up, I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled
Oh,
up.
so cool. It's like in the main case of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Okay. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was a kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie.
So
Nothing we can do about it now. So just
game.
do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
One thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
The robot. Who is it? The 16 high school student.
My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but... Super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied! Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
I hate that laugh. Laugh is a thing of nightmares. Boys like despair. There we go. End of chapter 2. Only 10 survivors remain. Minus Fujisaki and Mondo Owada. Crazy diamond. Oh, the jacket. Two of a kind. Two sides of the same coin. Two different people. Well, that's it. I'll try... Well, by the time you already reach the end of the video, I'll already have edited in the piece I want to talk about. But I'll try finding out, or editing in the piece of the line that I missed from one of the statements. So, yeah. That's all for now. Yeah, we can end it here. Goodbye.